All right. Hello. I'm Ginger,
And I'm Brooke.
and we're still here. So I've been thinking about the difference between privacy and secrecy lately. There's a line between protecting something and hiding something. And so I'm not always sure we know the difference or we knew the difference. So, first question is, what's the difference for you? What does privacy mean to us, and what does secrecy mean to us?
What does it mean to us?
Yeah. Or like, what's the difference? When do we feel the line between them?
I'm gonna try to answer this, but I do want to be very vague. There was a time I didn't think that there was a huge difference between the two, and I don't think I knew really where that line was. And I think when I was facing some marital issues, and like, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago, I thought towards the beginning of my marriage that I was just having things be private. Like all of our issues they were just a private matter, and I didn't want anybody to know. And
Right.
somebody was like, don't you think that like keeping those secret means that like that behavior can continue? Like there's no accountability. And I was like, oh. And I think that was the first time that like I really realized that there's a difference between privacy and secrecy.
Right. Yeah. No, I haven't. That's not where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's big, right? Yeah. Oh, man. That threw me because
Ooh,
that's not yeah,
it's
let's
not the
see.
direction you were going.
No. But I mean, that makes sense, right? I agree. Um, yeah, I don't know. Oh, man. I thought I'd be better prepared for this. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, privacy to me is something that's nobody's business, and secrecy is things you're hiding, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like my distinction between the two. Like, I'm not a very private person. I will share everything. Like, I don't know. I have a problem with word vomit of my entire life story to anybody who will listen to it. And I don't think that I have a lot of privacy. But I don't know. But there's some things I'm getting better at that, right? I'm getting a lot better at that I don't share everything with anyone. But then I
Well,
think like secrecy seems a little more like sinister, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, I have a problem with privacy. I'm not a problem. I have an issue. Like, I'm bad at privacy. Um, and I always say, like, don't tell me a secret because I can't keep a secret. And I can't. I am a lot better. I got John a really nice Christmas present this year, and I didn't ruin it. And so I think I can't keep secrets that don't matter, but I can keep secrets that matter, right? Like,
Yes.
if you tell me your deepest, darkest secret, I'm not going to tell anybody else. And I mean, between the two of us, I can very easily keep secrets.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you tell me it's somebody's surprise birthday party, I'm probably going to ruin it. Don't do that.
Because that has happened.
Very recently. Although I didn't do that on purpose, right? But I,
Well, also was not told that it was a surprise party, to
right.
be fair.
So that's true. But I tend to ruin secrets or ruin surprises like I do. I think I'm a lot better at it because I've ruined so many. I've learned my lesson, but yeah, I don't know. Privacy seems sacred to me and secrecy seems sinister. And I'm not saying I don't have secrets. I'm not saying that like,
Yeah, they're different.
yeah. Okay. So growing up, how was privacy handled in our families growing up? I think we had very different childhoods, so.
I know we did. I don't think that was a thing. We for sure had very different childhoods. I think mine was handled like really great. I don't think that there's nothing that I can think back on in my childhood and growing up where I feel like I wasn't shown a level of respect for, being a teenager and trying to learn and navigate my own way. There was no need for secrecy. I think my family was like really good at communicating. And so if there was ever a problem, like there was just never any needs for big secrets. Everything was kind of handled accordingly. And then everybody knew when it was time for you to have like your own space. And, as you got older, it feels like it was so easily that it's not something that I've ever actually thought about.
Yeah. Yeah, I think growing up, the only secret I think we had was that our family was so dysfunctional, but I don't think it was a secret to very many people, but I think like putting on a good face that everything was fine was kind of like how we lived our lives. I guess I had a lot of privacy in my life when I was growing up because my parents weren't really involved. I didn't really have a lot of secrets. If my mom asked me a question, I answered it, but I didn't have a lot of, the very first time I ever had sex, my mom said, "Are you having sex?" And I said, yes. I wasn't secret about it, but I also I don't know, my parents weren't really, by the time I was a teenager, my parents were, I don't know, kind of over having teenagers around. I was the youngest. And so, yeah, I don't know, my stepdad and I didn't get along. And so we,
feels like an understatement, but okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to go down that road.
I'm keeping my family life very private for the, for the open internet. Yeah, I don't know. Things weren't discussed. I didn't tell my parents anything. My parents didn't ask anything. I don't know. By the time I was a older teenager, my parents weren't very, involved sounds like too big of a word. Interested in what I was doing or my life. And so does that, how you grew up, does that shape how you handle things now?
I think so.
Yeah. In my life, I think it shapes me in the opposite. The pendulum has swung, right? I am very overly involved in my kid's life, and I need to know every single aspect of every detail of every day that they have because I want them to know that I'm interested. There was a time that one of our friends were over at my house in the last few years, right? And we pulled up a picture of me in high school, my basketball picture from high school, and my mom was sitting there and she goes, "You played basketball?" And I was like, all through high school I did. And my mom didn't know that I played basketball.
To be fair, my parents were also super involved. My parents were the opposite. And I remember my mom talks about all the things my brother did in high school all the time. And granted, Adam was the best at everything and he didn't even have to try. Right. And I remember one time, and this was a year ago, that I kind of nailed her on it because she was talking about all the plays that Adam was in because we were, small school, everybody's in everything. And at one point, I think I remember just kind of going, "How many musicals was I in?" And she was like, "Well, I know that you were in." She names the 2 that Adam was in. And I'm like, "Okay, but there's 3 or 4 more."
Right.
And she couldn't name them. She was like, she didn't know. So even my mom, who's overly involved, also had no clue.
Yeah.
She was there, but she couldn't, but Adam wasn't the star, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Parents.
No, my parents didn't, I don't know, went to a single game, I think. And from a very small town, you could walk to the school from our house. And no. And the football stadium was literally in our backyard. There was a fence between us, and there was, I have a whole trauma story about that.
Yes.
That's a different time, different topic, different theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Privacy. Let's move on. Privacy and friendships. What feels okay to share with friends and what belongs in private spaces.
I think the difference there is like, what friend?
I was about to say, like, we need to define friend categories.
I think it depends on the level. Like I mean, you know everything. Like I don't think there's anything going on in my life that you don't know.
Right.
I do have other friends. I have one in particular that I can think of, and I share a lot with her, but not everything. And then I have other people that like, you know, I mean, like last night I was in a weird mood, kind of upset, and I see people and I like them, but like, I'm not going to share like why I'm in a weird mood and I don't really want to talk to people. And I'm going to talk to you because I like you, but I also like don't really want to.
Right.
But like, there's just so many different levels of friendship that I'm not going to share all of my secrets.
Yeah.
Like, or like the private things, right? Because they are different. That's not going to happen. Like it depends on our level of friendship. I do share a lot, but like, no.
Yeah, I think I'm learning this. I mean, I've learned this in the last, 7-8 years, that not everybody has my best interest when we're sharing things about ourselves. And I would like sit at a table with a bunch of like neighborhood moms and share my like deepest, darkest childhood traumas, thinking that we were all like getting to know each other. And probably, I mean, to their credit, probably scared a bunch of people off. But I was just, this is who I am. Like, I'm open, I'm honest. And I think I got a lot of hate for that. Not real hate, but like, ugh, like that's a lot. She's a lot, you know? And it's just, I've always just been open. I've always just been very an overshare, like overshared too much about myself. John and I got divorced, and I know like it was like as soon as I met people, it was like, oh yeah, no, we're back together, but we got divorced, and we're currently divorced. You know, we're like working it out or whatever. To people like I don't even know, who don't have my best interest, who aren't trying to be supportive, they're trying to get the dirt, and I didn't know that. I think everybody that I meet, I'm trying to like build a friendship with, or I'm trying to like, this is the start of a brand new relationship. And it took me until I was 43 before I realized like that wasn't true. Like everybody doesn't have your best interest. Not everybody is going into every conversation thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm building this like solid relationship. Everybody has not necessarily an ulterior motive, but like nobody's kicking the tires and test driving this relationship. Usually we just got squished together for some social reason, and we're just trying to get through it. And that's how I approach these conversations now. I'm just like, oh, like I'm wildly surprised when I connect with somebody now, instead of like, oh my God, they talked to me the whole time. We're going to be like friends forever.
Friends.
Yeah. And so I've learned that, and it took me a very long time. I can't like, yeah, it's been 43 years of my life that it took me to realize that.
Well, and I think what's interesting too is I think of like even, so I feel like several years ago, I mean, Virginia's 10, so a little over 10 years ago, I kind of realized that like the whole like perfect family facade had like dropped. And then I learned to just like, I don't care. Like, here's what's really going on in my life. My life is falling apart. It's really difficult. You know, it's a lot of work. And then I think I was always shocked to see how many people would make comments about like, oh my gosh, I love that you're like so honest about what's going on in your life. And how many women really, I think they almost kind of like envy the fact when people are just like, look, my life isn't perfect. Like, I'm a mess. I'm doing the best that I can. But like, here's what's honestly going on. But then at the same time, like when it comes down to it, I feel like then they're just kind of like, oh, but that person is like that like it is really kind of tricky to just kind of go, I'm trying to be honest, and you know, I'm not hiding anything. My life is what it is.
Right.
But then how many women also are like, oh, no, like they don't want to mess with it, but they love that somebody else is honest about it, but won't do the same. And they don't want to deal with it whenever they realize like, oh, she talks about, you know, she's not hiding anything.
Right.
And I feel like they think that you should, but then they also kind of like that you don't. It's like such a catch-22. Like there's no win in those situations.
Yeah. I mean, like on a grander scale of that too, like when you're down in it and your life is a mess and you're picking up pieces of yourself and trying to put it back together and everybody's judging you for it and saying, oh my God, she's too much. Like, let's talk about Ginger in 2019. Like a lot of people, there was a hot mess expressed that nobody wanted to be involved with. Right. And I get it. Like, yeah, I mean, one person, but I mean, like, it was a disaster, a complete disaster, but I was very open and honest with it. I was like, I'm a mess. Like, this is what I'm going through. This is what's hard. This is all these things, and just word vomit my disaster. But then I find that like I got my shit together, and now I have even less people that want, you know what I mean? Like, it's like people want you to be down and disgusting. They don't want to be a part of it, but they want to watch it. But then you like turn around and like get your shit together, and it's the opposite.
It's offensive somehow.
Yeah. Like I don't know, like this whole thing, every part of this where it's like I'm not lucky. The things that have happened recently that are advantageous for my life are not luck. Like I have busted my ass to get where my family is, where my relationship is, where it took a lot of therapy. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of communication. It took a lot of like support from my friend. But like, it's really hard. And I hate when like people are doing really well and you're on the other side of it where like, I don't know, it's a vicious cycle, right? Like people don't want to be involved with you because you're a hot mess, and then you like turn your shit around and people still don't. And but I mean, like I'm in a much better place now to deal with that scenario. Anyway, okay. Parenting and privacy. This is, I feel like I've got a lot to say about this. So what do we believe about privacy with our kids? And what do they deserve to keep private? But this has different layers, right?
I mean, okay. Yeah, I do feel like that's different, right? Because what do they deserve to keep private? I think there are things that they do deserve to keep private, but I don't think that there's things that they deserve to keep secret. You know, I mean, I do try it. So Jones is 14. He's the only one with like a regular iPhone, right? I've tried to show him the respect that I feel like he deserves, and that I don't check his phone all of the time. But like, also at the same time, he's 14 and it's my phone because I pay for it. So like, I also, while I respect his privacy, there's no secrets, right? So like, whenever I tell him, hand me your phone, and then the other night he was like, I pulled it open. And I'm like, hold on, I need your face really quick. And I did that. And he's like, why? Because I'm checking his deleted messages. Like, I'm not just going to leave all that as it is. And so, you know, I mean, and whether that's wrong, I'm sure there's plenty of people that would say that, like, you know, oh, you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, like, he's a 14-year-old boy. Like, I respect his privacy and the fact that I think that he, does deserve some space to kind of navigate things on his own, but he's also a child. Like, and I'm not going to just like leave him out there to like figure things out on his own. I'm his mom. It's my job. Right. Like, and I want to turn him into a good person. So if that means like reading through his text messages, which I have, and I have found things that I don't like, and not like inappropriate, but just things that a bunch of 14-year-old boys will say in a group chat. I don't like it. We've had lots of conversations.
Right.
So, I mean, absolutely try to respect his privacy, but we're not doing secrets.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, I do want my kids to navigate situations on their own. I don't want to hover over them. They've got to figure that out. But I do think, like, as a 14-year-old boy, those roads can get very bumpy very fast, and also like out of control very fast.
Yes.
And my kid, I mean, I used to go through Harrison's phone every Tuesday, like, just because it worked out, right? Like, I took him to music lessons. He had to leave his phone in the car, and so I scrolled through his messages while he was in. He knew it, but it's funny. I don't know why I feel like I have to, like, defend myself. But like, it was boring. Like, his conversations were boring. Like, I got bored. I was like, oh my God, there's nothing in here that's spicy. There's nothing good in here. I mean, it was, yeah. So, but now I go through them every once in a while. He doesn't go to music lessons anymore, so I don't have that opportunity. But I mean, if his phone's ever laying around, I'll grab it and go through it, and just like a quick glance. Like, I mean,
Right.
I don't know that they need any privacy on their not social media. My kids don't have social media, but like on their phones, on their stuff. Like, why would any of that be private to me? Like,
Right.
I don't know why that's a thing. Like, why that needs to be a thing. I don't want to hover over them and solve all their problems for them, but I don't think now, I mean, like, I have boys. I knock before I go in their room.
I do not yet. Justin just called me out this last week over that. He's like, you need to knock first. And I was like, I mean, we'll get there.
Yeah, different kind of privacy there, I guess. I remember one time I like knocked on the door for Harrison. He was like 12, and I like knocked on the door and waited for him to say like it was okay to come in. And I opened the door. He goes, God, Mom, you don't have to knock. And I'm like, well, I will someday, and I don't want to have that conversation. So I'm just going to keep knocking.
Right.
Like, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I think they should have things that are private to them, but I'm also like trying, like you said, trying to turn them into a good person. I'm not going to let them navigate the big giant world on their own at this point in time. But on the other side, what do parents sometimes overshare about their kids?
Oh.
Like, that's privacy in a different way, right? Like, I mean, you and I, you know every single thing that happens with my kids. Like, you and I share everything with my kids. But I also, like, I'm not going to put Harrison's girlfriend's name on this podcast. You know, I'm going to talk about the situation, but I do think if for whatever reason somebody were to listen to this, they don't need to be named or,
Right.
you know, that can be private. I mean, I'm putting the whole situation like out on the internet though, that, you know, he's dating someone, but I don't know.
Well, and I think, I mean, to that point, right? So like last week or the week before, rough week, so much so that we even like filmed this late a couple weeks ago. And like, I want to share that things are difficult, but I don't want to share what kid it is. And I don't want to share what the situation was. Right. You know, and there was something kind of the week before that where it was a different situation and it's other kids. And I don't want to share that situation. Like there are some things where it's like that needs to kind of remain within the family. I can share that there's a difficult situation going on with certain people, and some people know what's happening and some people don't. But I mean, I do think like social media completely changed the amount of people that are like will post and they're like just prayers for my kid, but then like don't give any detail, and then it's like, but you're putting that out there, so like, what's the details?
Yeah,
like I want to know now.
Yeah, no, and it's so funny. The next subject is social media change things, and so like how has social media changed our idea of privacy. And it's funny, the more confident I feel in my life and the better I feel about my life, the less I post. Like, and I'm not saying that that's a way everybody feels, or that the people who post every day and they post every detail of their life, that they're not feeling confident or any. This is just me. Like, for me, the more I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, the less I need to share it with everybody, the less I need that validation. That's just me. Like, that's how I feel. John posts a lot about our kids, and I love that. Like, I love that they're getting accolades for like the things that they're doing, or we're updating people who are close to us that aren't like in our everyday circle,
Right.
what the kids are doing. But like, the more confident I feel in just like my everyday life and my marriage and everything, the less I post. And I don't know, like, I don't share anything on social media anymore. And it's not because I'm not doing things, and it's not because I'm not loving the things I'm doing. It's honestly, I just don't even think about it. It doesn't even like, but the flip side of that is like, I don't take any pictures either. I wish I did. I don't have pictures of, like the concerts we go to, or the things we do, the fun things that we do when we go to a show or anything. Like, I always forget to take a picture because I've always wanted to take pictures to post something. And now I don't do that. And at least I'm like in the moment, but I don't have pictures to look back at for my own personal, enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean, I do find that I feel like I had made a conscious decision like a year ago, right, to kind of pull back a little bit and be more in the moment,
Right.
Because you do have a tendency, and I think what may have spurred that on, right, is and everybody knows we have a tendency to post like the big moments when everybody's life is wonderful,
Right.
and it makes your life look like it's really great. And I think what gets really hard is when you start watching your kids kind of go through a really difficult season of life or struggle with something. And then I found myself getting really irritated that it felt like other people were kind of, to me personally, like in the low seasons of my life, it felt like their life is great and their kids are wonderful and how good for them. Like, I just found myself getting really frustrated with it. And I feel like I just decided kind of like, you know what, I'm not going to post as much. And it's really tricky too, because we do have half of their family lives out of state, right? Or
Right.
like are not involved in their everyday life. And so it's like, I don't want to not share anything.
Right.
But I've really kind of pulled back, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do kind of the big moments, things that kind of really matter, that I want to make sure that I've acknowledged them in some way. But like our everyday living, our everyday life, like I want to just enjoy it. And I do still, like, I have still gotten pictures, probably not as many because I'm not as focused on that. But I've like really enjoyed being in the moment with my kids more. Just because we do, right? Like, everybody has a tendency to kind of overshare, and we do post everything about them, and then nothing is private. Nothing is personal just for you and your family anymore.
Right.
And I do, like, there are some things where it's like, you know what? I really just want to keep that for us. Like, that's a moment just for us, for the four of us.
Yeah. It's funny. I think this podcast has also like made me post less on social media, because like for, over a year now, I've posted just to get the memories, right? I want to remember this moment, or I want to remember that this happened. I wanted to, I want this to come up in our memories. And now that we're doing this every week, it's like Harrison, like getting his first Valentine and doing his first date. I would have 100% posted that. I would have, because I want to remember that. Like, I want to remember that moment, and I want to remember how like he looked and all the things, And so it's funny that now that we're doing this, I feel less inclined to get those on my memories, because I'm like, I have a weekly record of exactly what this felt like. And
More than what a picture could express.
for sure. Yeah.
Right.
And so, the next question is like, what feels good to share versus what feels performative? And I don't feel performative on social media at all anymore. I'll post not great pictures. I'll post pictures that, you know, are in the moment doing the thing that aren't, I don't know, like great lighting or whatever, because it's just in that moment. And I feel like I've kind of switched. I don't know if that's age or just like the time in my life that it's funny to me when I post something and then I'll get somebody who says something to me, like texts me or comments on it, or somebody mentions it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that like you were seeing that, right? Like when I post it, I think like Marsha's going to see it. My dad's going to see it. And like maybe some of John's extended family, like that's who it's for. And then somebody will comment and I'm like, oh yeah, like, I don't even realize that like these random people are seeing all of these things too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, probably the same. I don't think I really have a huge difference of answer on that one. I mean, things just feel different in this season, and I feel like I don't have to try to show everybody. Life sucks. It does. It sucks. It has sucked for a long while. And at the same time, like, I don't feel the need to go on and perform and either show everybody how hard life has been or like, look at us, we're doing great. Like, we're okay. Like, I want to show like the big moments for the kids, like Virginia's first lacrosse game. I just posted that. Like, that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
It's a win for her for right now. Like, I want to show just those few moments, but like, there's been so many things in between for her and for me where it's like, these are moments like just for the two of us, and I don't need to show anybody else. Like, I don't need to perform for anybody. Like, we're just doing the best we can.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, that's how life is, right? I mean, like in this moment is like, and it's nobody's business that you're like getting by day to day. Right.
Well, and like even my relationship, right? Like I did have somebody, because I did post a picture in my stories of Justin and I for his birthday. And I did have a friend last week. She was like, oh my gosh, I saw the picture. Is this a hard launch? And I loved it. But at the same time, it's kind of like, you know what? Like, I'm trying to keep some things for me. Like, I really want to enjoy my relationship right now without having like all these people coming in and, you know, oh my gosh, tell me like how I want to enjoy it. Like, this is a new thing for me. It's for me. It's mine. Like, I want my relationship to be for me for as long as I can make it.
Right. Sorry.
Making all this noise.
I know. Sorry. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like that's the thing is like, when does it become sharing and when does it become performative? Right. And I don't know, like everybody's going to say, I'm not performing. This isn't for anybody else. It's all for me. But then you see like these perfectly curated pictures and all the thing, which is like, I mean, if that works for you, great. And if that's your actual life, Angela Rich, I'm sure that is your actual life, because everything is like perfect and pristine. However, like for the rest of us, like nobody posts the dirty stuff. And if someone happens to, you're like, ugh, why are they sharing that? Like, ugh, that's so negative, and like nobody wants to hear that. So, I mean, there's like this huge double standard.
Well, if they do, like, they want the dirt. Like, you're not allowed to just say like, hey, like, here's a picture of like a hard moment. Like, everybody wants the details.
Right.
They want the secret that's behind it. They want to know everything.
For sure. Yeah. No, social media is, I struggle when people complain about social media, when like, you know, social media is like the worst thing that ever happened to us, but I stay in contact with people that I never otherwise would have. I mean, like Michelle in Florida would know nothing about her, and we're closer than we've ever been. And it's because of social media. Like, I just think like, I don't know, there's good and bad with everything, but I love social media. I love that it connects me with people that I've worked with in the past that I would never even know what was, and you get a glimpse into people's lives, and like, I think it's great. Like, I love it. Okay. So protecting people. When does protecting someone turn into secrecy? Ooh.
Oh, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what I started with,
Yeah.
because I thought I was protecting,
Right.
but then and it's so crazy because it was Jamin's sister that told that to me, and I was like, oh, if she can see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought I was, and I think that was kind of like the big eye opener for me on knowing that there is a difference. Like, you can protect somebody, but you don't have to like keep a secret. Those are two very different things. Sometimes revealing something is actually protecting that person.
For sure. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it depends on the level, right? Like, I mean, there's always gray area, or there's always
Yeah.
black and white and really black and really white. And I just, yeah, I don't know.
It's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, I was going to go into a story, but I don't think this is the place. Okay. How do we decide what belongs to us to share and what doesn't? I think that depends on like who we're sharing it with, right?
Well, and is it mine? Like, is it mine to share? If it's about me, like, it's totally up to my discretion. But if it's somebody
Right.
else's, like,
Yeah. I think if it's somebody else's, like, I'll share it with you.
no, you won't. Don't say that out here.
Sorry, I will. But
I mean, I'm gonna find out anyway, whether you say it out loud or not.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't keep secrets very well, but big secrets, I don't know. I would love to get on like some pedestal and say like, I don't ever share anything and I don't talk shit about anybody, but I share with people that I trust.
But we also talk about people like every day.
I know. And so like I share about, yeah, no, I share. I'm not going to lie and say that I don't. But to people that I trust, which is not always a good thing, right? Like I talk about things that I probably shouldn't talk about. But I mean like, I think I share almost everything with Erin too. Like when we're at the club and we're drinking, like she knows all my gossip and all my tea, but I'm also like, I don't share with everybody. I share it with like my trust circle, right?
But that's what I mean. Like, if it's ours, like if it's my story to tell.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not talking about my story.
Oh, other people's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I do share a lot with you.
Oh, I share everything with you. I share everyone's story with you. If anybody has told me a secret, Brooke knows. Like, that's not a any
I'm trying
secret.
to think of who would tell me a secret outside of your circle. And I don't think, oh, I do know one. And I think I did tell you. So never mind. Yeah, I share pretty much everything with you.
For sure. No, I share everything with you. I mean, even like from people that you don't know, I would share. Yeah, 100%. I mean, unless the story's boring. If it's not entertaining, if you told me a secret and it was boring, Brooke might not know it. But outside of that, yeah, no. Or if I forgot it. Yeah, that's it. All right. So what feels healthy now? What boundaries feel important now? What do we feel more comfortable keeping private than we used to?
Oh. Do you have one?
I have a lot more boundaries. I mean, I don't tell anybody anything anymore. I mean, like my past or my traumas, my falling apart. I mean, I don't know. I used to think divulging those things to people brought me closer to people. So like if I was having a moment with somebody or we're having a conversation, I would tell these like, you know, when I was a kid, high school, how hard high school was, or what happened to me in college, or what happened to me in 2019 that made me spiral. Like, or that, you know, I couldn't get out of bed without a bottle of Prosecco, like dragging me out. Like, I would tell that to anybody. Or like if anybody had a hard story, like, oh yeah, I'm really struggling with this, I would be like, oh, hey, I struggled. Listen to my struggle story. And I keep those to myself now with people that I meet. It's just, I don't share as much. Because one, nobody actually cares, right? When you're first meeting someone,
Yes.
people want you to hear their story. They don't want to listen to your story. Like, it's 100% true. And I was one of those people who just wanted you to hear my story. I wasn't listening. I didn't listen to the things that you had to say. I needed to tell you like how much I've struggled in my life. And I wanted you to hear my story. So I have learned to just shut up and listen more. And it's easier to make friends that way. Not with you though. With you, I'm still like, I'm struggling. Here's my story. Here's my story for the 100th time. Listen to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talk about it again.
Again and again. Yeah.
Which is always fine. I get it.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I do that better than I have in a long time. I've even like, I wouldn't say reconnected, but I have had new conversations with people that I had conversations with in the past. Were never my friends, were never anything. And it's really funny to see how different I approach the conversation, or how different like the conversation goes because they talk and I'm just like, I'm not sharing anything. Yeah, it's like, how are things with you? Oh, they're really good. Yeah, like I'm good. And they'll have to ask me questions that I answer. I don't just immediately go into this hour-long story of every detail of everything that's going on with me. And I just sit back and listen. And it's funny that we have a uncomfortable exit where we're like, okay, the high pitched, oh, it's been so good talking to you. Okay, call me. I'll see you later. Like, and then we never talk to each other again. Like, but at least I'm leaving with the correct impression of how the conversation went, rather than, oh my God, we just had
We're
the
best
greatest
friends.
lunch. Yeah, like, Brooke, she's going to come on this trip with us, and we're going to go do this thing, and it's going to be awesome, and we should invite them to every single thing that we're doing. And
I've
then-
heard that. And
Yeah.
usually that's let's take a minute.
And then I get my heart broken because
And then we go
People
on that trip alone.
people don't show up. And I mean, like, it's a thing, right? It's funny that I'm just explaining how I do that now. And that happened, 6 months ago? I'm so good at these boundaries. Yeah, I'm really good at this.
It's a work in
100% was the
progress.
example I was giving, and it didn't. I was wrong. Like, I didn't do it that way. Anyway, I did it in the first conversation, but the preceding conversations didn't. We're
Didn't
good
pan out
friends.
the
Oh my
same.
God, look, everything's working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works. All right. So one thing I'm realizing about privacy is blank.
Oh, I thought there was more to that, and I was like, okay, you can finish that. Is this a deep thought that you have
No.
to long pause? One thing I'm learning about privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have something?
I think so.
Okay, you go first. I'm going to think for a second.
Okay, so one thing I'm realizing about privacy is that it sounds terrible because I had it all planned out, but now I'm second guessing myself. One thing I'm realizing about privacy is that it's like deserved, right? When it comes to friendship or my kids or a relationship, right? Like, my kids deserve privacy until they don't, right? I'm giving you all the privacy in the world. I trust you. I trust that you're going to handle these situations until you prove to me that you can't. That's what happened with Harrison, right? I was like, I'm not on a schedule listening. We're reading your text messages. And then things got out of hand and I had to fix it. And when I took his phone that time, he was like, you don't trust me? And I was like, we'll see. Like, I don't know. Like, I just read this whole text conversation on somebody else's phone. And no, I don't trust you in this moment because there's a problem and you haven't told me about it. Mm-hmm. And I will trust you until I can't. And so I do think his privacy is deserved, right? Like you have
Mm-hmm.
it until you prove to me that you don't deserve it. Right?
Yeah.
And then like on friendships too, right? Like, I don't know, in real friendship, you could tell me all of your secrets and real secrets, right? And when we're no longer friends, I would still keep those secrets, right?
Right.
And so I think in that, I don't know, you've kind of like signed this friendship contract forever, right? I mean, like, if I've loved you at one point in time, I'm not going to go back on that. Now, you're the caveat to that. Like, if any of my best friends have told me secrets, Brooke knows your secrets. Sorry. I mean, that's the way it is. But I'm not going to like ruin that person. Right?
Right.
I'm not going to go tell people those secrets. I've heard lots of people's secrets. I know lots of people's secrets who I'm no longer friends with that like I'm not going to go tell their husbands, or I'm not going to go tell the people that they're currently friends with that they weren't friends with before the things that they had said, right? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think privacy is deserved. And in that moment, like I was trusted with that information. But I don't think everybody feels that way. And I don't know that that's the norm, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's the one thing I'm realizing about privacy is that privacy is like deserved, but it's also like deserved in that moment rather than deserved and then taken away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm still trying to think of like the right way to word for me, but I feel like what I'm learning about privacy is that, that it's okay to have. You know, I think for so long, I think I kept up like a facade of trying to have like the picture perfect family and it's okay. And my life is falling apart and I don't know how to hold on to it, but I have to look the part. Like everything is private, everything is a secret. And then I think when I realized like that it's not, and it's okay to not, that then I was just like, oh, well, like, I don't care who knows what's going on. Like, my life is a mess. Here's what's happening. You know, like, it's hard. You know, being a wife is hard. Being a military wife was hard. Being a working mom was hard. And a stay-at-home mom was hard. Like, every different phase was really, really difficult. And then I think now that I'm the single mom with 3 kids, I think I'm learning that, like, privacy is okay. There are certain things, and while I do still feel like I want to be an open book, but I'm also like, there are certain things that go on with me, with my children, relationships that can be private and should be private. Not every moment of my life is meant for everybody else.
Right.
And I like the idea of, whether it's good or bad, I like the idea of keeping specific things just for me, just for my kids, like whoever it may be.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah. No, I think that's important, right? I mean, yeah, and as we get into this new life that we're leading with like real teenagers or when our kids are all teenagers. And if we're doing this and like their life is private, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now I do think I'm sharing a lot about my kids because I want to remember this moment in the way I'm handling this or the way that I'm dealing with this. But I do think like as our kids get older, their lives are their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not trying to exploit that in any way to where their experiences are what we're talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about my experience going through something with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they're dealing with or, you know, but also my kid gets their heart broken for the first time and I'm dealing with that with them. That's like my experience, right? I am experiencing that. That's what I want to talk about. That's what's important to me. And so identifying those and keeping those separate, I think is important. And, you know, that's the difference between my kids' privacy and my experience. And I don't know, like, I think we're going to have to walk that line. I think it's going to be hard. I think figuring that out is going to be really difficult. And like, that's what I want to talk through, right? We're honest with no details, right? I mean, that's our thing. And so I can talk about something that is really hard for me without giving all the details and without sharing someone else's story. But my experience is my experience. And even in like friendships and like friendships that we're talking about, without naming anybody, I can also say like, I got my heart broken, not this time because it wasn't that bad, but originally, right, got my heart broken by friendships. And I can talk about that all day long because that's my experience. I'm not messing with somebody else's privacy. I'm not naming them. I'm not putting them out in the world, but I am allowed to discuss my personal experience.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's different. And I don't think that I'm whatever messing, like, I don't know what the word is, but like messing with somebody else's privacy without naming them. I'm just giving you my experience. And one of our topics that we were talking about is like memory versus reality, right? And how like,
I think that one will be good.
yeah, my memory is my memory. Like perception is like your reality, right? And so I could sit here and talk all day long about an experience that happened to me, and somebody can come in and have the exact same timeline, but the experience was completely different. But like, this is my podcast. Like I'm telling my side of
my version
of a story, and that doesn't make it any more or less true.
Right.
This is the experience that I had. And I think that's important. Like that goes along with privacy, I guess. Like my experience is my experience. And yeah. And so like I want to keep my kids' lives private. I want to keep your kids' lives private. I want the details to be excluded because we're talking about other people's stories, right? But when I'm talking about my experience through those, I think that's important for us to talk about and remember. So that's it. You feel good?
I feel good.
All right. Well,
we're still here.
bye.